But part of the philosophy there is you have to learn how to do stuff. You have to learn how to program. You have to learn how electronics and building circuits and programming microprocessors and stuff like that. So I really got into kind of geek culture there and used it to, I'll just bring that up again, leverage the kind of interests I have in performing and visual art and stuff like that, and humor.
It's a really funny term, geek culture. It sounds like you guys are a whole, like, whole different ethnic group or something, and you live somewhere, and now, Jill is the anthropologist that's starting to discover the geek culture that's, out there. She's a little, like, geek ethnographer.
Oh, I like that. Wow, that's great. So I tell you what, Matty, how would, you know what, before I answer that question, I'm sorry to interrupt myself, but it's burning in my brain. Could someone please comment on Jonathan's throbbing boil?
I'm going to get the t-shirt, actually, so we can get a visual.
Yeah, hold on, let me get you the
t-shirt. Second.
Oh, yeah. Oh. And just for context, actually, I don't want to steal your thunder. Would you share a little bit about what in the heck that is?
Sure. So Jonathan's Throbbing Boil was more than just an internet radio show. It was, for a while, a way of life that I fomented at the Interactive Telecommunications program at New York University. Its focal point was internet radio talk show where people could call in, and we'd have guests, and it was just in the lobby of where the department was. And so as people walked through on their way from lab to lab, I would grab people and start interviewing them. And I also had some guests I lined up in advance. We had a product line that included Jonathan's Throbbing Boil.
She's modeling it.
Hand silk screen.
I'm moving in. Oh, that's great.
T-shirts.
What a splendid modeling moment here.
Yeah. And it was basically, just a kind of boil of ideas, arts, culture, and information.
Oh, that's so great.
Really, it was just about the boil of ideas.
That's right, the boiling over.
And you created this little animation that was about lancing the boil, Jonathan.
That's true. You could click a button on the website that said "Lance the Boil."
And then there's this little,
and a visual
peach-colored mound that shows up. And then there's this little pointy gray thing that comes in and goes, "No!" And then you hear this voice in the background going, "No, no!" And then it splurts out.
And you
Boil
are
of
the
ideas.
mind behind the splurting boil? Take ownership.
Yeah, take ownership of your boil.
The boil did emerge from my fertile imagination, and it was embraced. The boil, was very, very popular among about 90 people.
Lovingly adored by 90 people.
And we had an international audience: Japan, Europe.
Japan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Taiwan.
California.
Yeah. And it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great.
So that actually doing the show was part of kind of got me realizing that I just like doing that kind of stuff. I like interviewing people. I like being funny or trying to be funny, and yeah. And I like kind of like we said, like mediating that through technology, because it's such a fun and powerful way to do it.
I used to think of tech geeks as
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
white,
Yeah.
somewhere between 18 to about 35, questionable hygiene habits, questionable social skills, or even desire to socialize with people. And so I have to say, you've really challenged my thinking about, what counts as a tech geek.
Would you, and I love the flow that you're on. Would you guys mind coming together just
Sure.
a little teeny bit? I don't mean like on top of each other, but yes. Fabulous. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Sure, no problem. And see, what else is there?